Before staking his claim to being the biggest Mexican-American rapper in all of North America, hip-hop artist OhGeesy was born Alejandro Coranza on November 27, 1993 in Los Angeles, California. As a youth growing up in that neck of the woods, nothing came easy to OhGeesy's family, but the sacrifices they were forced to make, it made what they accomplished all the more special as a result. For instance, Geesy's mother, she had to cross the border not once, but twice. And one of those times, she had to make the journey in the trunk of a frickin' car. And then there was Geesy's father, who wound up getting deported from America twice, leaving his wife as a single parent. Not only that, but when their family did settle down, it was in a 2-bedroom apartment with 10 people living in it at the exact same time. Now, having persevered through all that, Geesy, he couldn't be prouder of his family and the resiliency, believing that it's proof positive that they're where they're meant to be. He explained to OK Player, "My mom came to this country in the trunk of a motherfucking car. I was meant to be here. This it's my destiny. It was written from day one." Now, on those rare occasions when he was able to simply sit back and enjoy his childhood in LA, Geesy would spend as much time as he could outdoors in the gorgeous weather. In particular, he became very much a part of the city's graffiti culture from the time he was in the 3rd grade. More than just a means to express his creative ideas as well as release some good old teenage frustrations, graffiti led Geesy to meeting what he refers to as 99% of his friends, including a man named Phoenix Flexin. Now, based upon a shared love for hip-hop, Phoenix and Geesy, they were destined to become founding members of a rap collective that would change the rap game forever. But before that would happen, Geesy's earliest experience with music, it came from 2 distinct sources. For one, his uncle, he had a mighty impressive CD collection that boasted classics from artists like UGK, Juicy J, and 3 6 Mafia, as well as local Los Angeles legends like Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. And when he wasn't listening to hip-hop, he was enjoying the smooth sounds of his mother's favorite salsa, reggaeton, and bucatoo. Now, this exposure led to Geesy copying rap lyrics into his notebook at school and toying around with the idea of becoming an artist himself from a very young age. But he was especially determined to make something of himself because of how much his mother had sacrificed throughout his childhood. Now, he told Flood magazine, "She wasn't really able to take care of me as much as she wanted to because she would just work as much as she could just to get me that little bit of shit I had. So just watching her hustle, I feel like that turned me into a hustler." Now, OhGeesy began his rap career in the early 2010s when he was still just a teenager, uploading a few of his earliest creations to SoundCloud. Now, shortly thereafter, he teamed up with his friend Phoenix Flexin in 2012, but this duo wouldn't officially become known as Shoreline Mafia until 4 years later when they were joined by Rob Vicious and Master Kato on their quest to hip-hop superstardom. Now, all 4 men, they might have come from varied backgrounds and had different interests, but when they came together to make music, it was pure quality. Now, in terms of how they came up with their name, OhGeesy explained it as a means for the group to express that wavy feeling their music manifests. In fact, he told XXL magazine, and I was like, "Yo, where the do the waves start? The Shoreline Mafia." Now, their first mixtape, Shoreline Do That Shit, it took only 5 weeks to record, and even less time for the project to blow up on streaming services like Spotify, SoundCloud, and Apple when it dropped in November of 2017. Within 3 years, the group had already picked up 3 platinum singles as well as 2 gold, while gathering billions of streams and performing at one sold-out show after another, garnering acclaim absolutely everywhere they went. Now, whether it was tracks like Bands, Musty, None Major, or Bottle Service, the Shoreline Mafia, they built their rabid fan base off the back of a sound that incorporated tight flows paired with anxiety-riddled instrumental loops and frenetic bass lines. Now, all the while, it was OhGeesy's undeniable hooks that became a major part of what made these tracks a hit. But after having breathed new life into the culture and getting signed by Atlantic Records, the Shoreline Mafia drifted apart. Now, Geesy explained this difficult decision as 4 people with 4 different visions wanting to do their own thing. As far as he was concerned, it was never personal. Now, around the same period of time, Geesy's own life, it was changing as well. For starters, just prior to the disbanding of Shoreline Mafia, he experienced an acid trip that almost derailed his career. Now, after taking 3 tablets of the narcotic, he came close to calling it quits on making music altogether after being confronted face to face with aspects of himself that he didn't enjoy. Now, he described this experience to Hip Hop DX in the following way, where he stated, "I learned a lot off the acid. That shit killed my ego. It made me not want to make music. It did a lot to me. I don't know. I feel like I saw way too much for my head. I saw all the shit I didn't like about myself, all types of stuff. Now, whether or not that played a role in altering the course of OhGeesy's direction and going his own way, well, I guess only he knows for sure. But two other things that definitely played a role in OhGeesy's evolution were the birth of his first son, Sincere, named after Nas and Belly, and when he decided to start living a healthier lifestyle so as to always be there for his kid as a father.
Once he was born, that's kind of when I was like really done with the group.
Yeah.
When he was born, I was like, nah, I gotta really focus on myself. And
after splitting from his collective in April of 2020 with OhGeesy, he used the early days of the pandemic to focus on his new family and get to work creating his first professional solo music. Now, it took him a little over a year, but in August of 2021, well, he dropped his mixtape titled Geesy World. Now, the album, it didn't boast all that many features, but it included an appearance or two from the folks like DaBaby and A Boogie with the Hoodie. And after promoting the project by appearing in everything from Comedy Central to modeling for OVO and Bape, when his tape dropped, well, it peaked at the number 102 spot on the Billboard Hot 200. A year later, well, Geesy would release the deluxe version with even more features, and then he hit the road to embark on his first solo tour. Now, while scratching off cities across North America, well, Geesy, he never took a day off. When he wasn't busy performing on stage throughout 2022, well, he was recording music on the road, putting together what will eventually become his next big release, Geesy World 2. Now, this process, it actually marks the first time that Geesy has ever freestyled on the spot, capturing not only the raw energy of the moment, but showing how far he's come as a lyricist as well. Now, since then, well, he's already dropped the lead single from his upcoming project, a thumping bass track with ominous piano and punchy production simply titled Up. Now, having learned as much as he has over the past few years, well, Up sees OhGeesy at his braggadocious best. But his world is expanding outside of music as well, including an exclusive merchandise line sold through his Geesy World website. He also now co-owns a Mexican seafood spot known as Sunset Mariscos, which is actually located inside the framed Fred Segal store in West Hollywood. This professional growth, it goes hand in hand with his decision to get healthier. Now, beyond simply eating better by cutting out frequent trips to fast food places like McDonald's, well, OhGeesy is exercising and making better choices, like not messing with lean or perks anymore. Now, he's doing so in the hope that this best possible version of himself will ensure that Geesy World 2 will put him on the map as one of the best Mexican artists ever. Right now, the second tape is tentatively scheduled to drop in March of 2023. Now, following that, well, Geesy says he's hitting full-blown debut album mode, so if you think you've already experienced the best of what OhGeesy has to offer, just wait until you hear what he has planned for us next. Now, will OhGeesy fulfill his destiny as hip-hop's most celebrated Mexican artist? Well, I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. After all, this has been Before They Are Famous. Thanks so much for watching this video, guys. Before I leave you, I'm gonna ask you a question. What's the one thing that could motivate you to start living a healthier life? Let me know in the comments down below. Maybe it's your kid, maybe it's your partner, heck, maybe even your dog. You're like, oh, I'm running out of breath walking this thing. I better sort some shit out. Anyways, I look forward to reading your comments. If you're new to the channel, be sure to like, subscribe, share with a friend. And I'm off to do that interview literally like 10 minutes ago. So yeah, we're going to Toronto, picking up my buddy Kevin, and then we're gonna sit down with OhGeesy. Here we go. Bye.